We're back. Oracle and JC.
Hey, thanks for joining us back with this conspiracy.
Thanks for joining us back. So just as a quick update, would like for you to know that after Greg Newman, the former district attorney of Henderson, Polk, and Transylvania County, after he was let go in those three counties, even though they allowed him to keep his state bar license, he is now in Buncombe County. The chief public defender, Sam Snead, on May 24th approved Newman to be placed on a list of attorneys who serve as court-appointed counsel. So that's where he is. But just to let you all know, he can
Well,
run.
I mean, he already likes letting criminals go, so maybe it's a good position for him.
Well, we'll see how long that position lasts because we have some exciting news for you.
Well, what's the exciting news?
This Saturday, July 10th, 2021, Valerie Owenby is coming to town.
At what time? I gotta put that on the clock.
10:30, be there. 10:30, be at the magistrate's office in Henderson County, North Carolina. The magistrate's office is between the Henderson County courthouse, the magistrate, and then the sheriff's department. 10:30 in the morning, be there and be on time.
And what is she gonna be doing there?
Well, I hope you all are sitting down.
I'm sitting down.
She is swearing out an arrest warrant for Greg Newman and for James Sapp. James Sapp was the man that raped her from the age of 5 to 12 years old. Just when everybody thought it was over, we know it's not over. It's just beginning. So be there on Saturday, 10:30 in the morning, to watch Valerie Owenby swear out a warrant with our assistants to be there to watch.
Well, not just to watch, to make sure they actually uphold the law. I mean, if Valerie Owenby can't swear out a warrant for this, then no police officer should be able to swear out a warrant for anything, for any reason whatsoever.
We're hoping to make history in North Carolina, certainly in Henderson County, Polk, and Transylvania County. So we know that there are many who have been watching, who have been personally involved in this case, especially since we know those of you who have lost loved ones, who have been murdered, who have been raped. And to see and watch what happened with the State Bar of North Carolina, as well as what happened in Henderson County the 3 days of the court hearing, and to see that Greg Newman was allowed to continue to do what he has done, but now he's in Asheville and Buncombe County. So you will be there at 10:30 Saturday, the magistrate's office. Show up because there is strength in numbers.
Yeah, and I mean, if they hear us put this announcement out and nobody shows up with how much public support there is against Greg Newman, then they're going to know that none of y'all care about law. And all I got to say is I really, really hope and pray to my Creator that more people care about this than showed any type of care or concerning for a father who served in the military, getting arrested, taking his children camping on Memorial Day. Because that was pretty disappointing to me. And I bet it was pretty disappointing to our father, too.
That was in Jonesboro, Tennessee. And I had said what happens in Tennessee affects us here. And what happens here affects us not only in Tennessee, but every single state. Because all the states are watching what's going on here also with Greg Newman.
And after what happens here, I'm going to be going up to St. Louis, Missouri from the 18th to the 21st because they have a national judges conference, and they also have people coming up to protest nationally for the family court judiciary. So if you don't know about that, then I would just encourage that everybody goes and looks up St. Louis, Missouri National Judges Conference for Family Court from July 18th to the 21st. And if you can, please come and join us because, again, they're watching what's going on in North Carolina nationally. They're watching what's going on in Tennessee nationally. They're going to be watching what happens in St. Louis, Missouri. And this could be our last chance of trying to get law back And I'm sick of these last chances because at some point in time, we're just going to lose it forever if the public doesn't step up and do what they know to be the right thing.
So let's mobilize, everybody, and let's be there on the steps of the magistrate's office this Saturday at 10:30 in the morning. And so the other thing is, I want to thank you all for your prayers, and I'm going to tell you that prayer and participate. Pray and participate. Get involved, do the right thing, help us clean up not only Henderson County, Polk and Transylvania County, but clean up the mess that has been going on that has been denying so many people a court of law and justice. Strength in numbers, people. Let's show up for one another. Let's be our brother's keeper.
All across the country. And, you know, just because I'm still in fear for my life and we're announcing what we're doing, because up in St. Louis, Missouri, I mean, look at what happened this past year. They got caught conspiring to take away parental rights. And after they got caught, and then somebody was suing them for it, the chief judicial officer of that district said that they would smooth it over with the Bar Association, and they have, because they dropped the lawsuit. They dismissed the lawsuit. So, if that's the type of world that you wish to live in, where other people get to determine everything about your life and you have absolutely no rights, then I guess you're going to do nothing. But if that's not the world you wish to leave your children, or their children, then I hope the Creator puts it upon your heart to do something and take some type of responsibility with what's going on.
And not making a choice is still a choice. So join us on July 10th, 2021, Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m., Hendersonville, North Carolina, at the magistrate's office. And come and walk inside the doors with Valerie Owenby as she puts a warrant out to arrest Greg Newman.
If they let her. And they might not let her if you don't show up.
So show up. Be there.
Now, again, with the whole me being threatened, so to just get it out of the way, because I don't know if the other side's going to issue a warrant for my arrest after watching this, but just to get it out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and play the entire audio of my testimony up in Tennessee. And that way, if I do get arrested, at least some people will know what actually happened in that courtroom, even if they don't allow the jury to know. So without y'all supporting me, they're probably going to try and put me in a hole. So if you appreciate this channel, if you appreciate what we do for y'all for free, and you don't wish to see us go away because of the power elite and the power structure that is getting upset by our actions, we got to have your help.
That's right. So show up. Show up for John. Show up for Just Conspiracy. Be part of the good conspiracy that helps to bring a court of law and justice back.
Show up for your children's rights. Anyways, we are Just Conspiracy, and we just wish to conspire with other good people of this planet to leave a better world for future generations than the world we all grew up in. Right now, we just wish to conspire to make sure the right thing's done and that VO still has enough law to swear out warrants against James Sapp and Greg Newman. Join us July 10th at 10:30 in the morning in front of the magistrate's office. One world love and peace.
You'll raise your right hand, sir. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you, sir. You go see. If you say both your first name and last name, spell them both.
Yeah, before we get started, I wish to prepare in just compensation.
For being here today?
Yeah, for testifying.
Okay. Did somebody request you to be here today?
She did.
Well, no, she subpoenaed you to testify. She didn't request you to be here today. I think you were here.
So I don't have to be here?
Well, I didn't invite you to come here. I'll take your request under consideration. How about that? Okay, so if you have a seat,
So I can be denied fair and just compensation?
I don't really understand.
I mean, you said you would take my request into consideration, which means that you could deny me fair and just compensation, which means I would be testifying for free.
Okay. So do you want to testify or not testify?
He's under subpoena, Your Honor, by me.
That's okay. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said I've issued a subpoena. When he came here today, we served him with a subpoena today. He broadcasted he would be here on his YouTube channel and drove here voluntarily, so we subpoenaed him once he arrived at the courthouse.
So you want to testify or not?
Am I gonna be held liable if I don't?
We can't answer questions. I can't give legal advice.
Okay, are you going to hold me in contempt if I do not testify?
I can't give legal advice.
I'm not asking for legal advice, I'm just asking to know the ramifications.
That's legal advice. So you want to testify or not?
I mean, I'll testify under duress if I think I'm gonna get arrested.
I'm not making that determination.
If I do not testify, can I leave freely of my own free will?
Well, she's issued a subpoena for you to be here. So you're here, she's called you to testify. I need her to answer a question. You're under oath now. You did that
I
exactly.
mean, I'll answer the questions for fair and just compensation.
Well, I'm not paying you because you're already here. And I'm not going to order them to pay you because you're already here. Now, you're right. I've done that before when people come from out of state and there was a subpoena issued for an out-of-state witness. I have done that before, but that's not what this is. You came here voluntarily while you were here. I didn't know they were going to subpoena you, to be honest. When you were here and then you walked in, they gave you a copy of the subpoena, so you're here. So what would you like to do?
I'll proceed under duress.
Okay. But you're not, I'm not putting you under any duress. I'm not making you do anything. But go ahead, you can ask some questions.
All right, state your full name, please.
Like first, middle, and last,
Yes, please.
Jonathan David Cross.
If you'll speak up, I will hear an issue.
Jonathan David Cross,
Thanks, sir.
What is your home address, please?
I don't understand the question.
Where do you live? What is the address of where you live?
I live in my head.
Where do you receive your mail? At what address?
There are several different places. I wouldn't have a PO
We'll give them all
box
to us,
on
please.
hand.
Go ahead and list all the addresses, please.
I don't have like there are PO boxes that people can reach me at. If you wish, you could send me an email. Do you wish to send me
No,
an
sir.
email?
I ask you to testify here what your address is today.
How is that relevant?
What is your address?
He's objecting to the relevance of that. So
If I need to,
why is it relevant?
if we have any other proceedings in which I need to issue an out-of-state subpoena or declare him a material witness, I need to know his address.
You got a point there. See, you just want to give us your P.O. box. You have a P.O. box that you.
I could leave you. I could leave one before I leave.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay. What is your phone number that you've been using to call Mr. Kemp?
It's 864.
And you, sir, have a channel on YouTube called Just Conspiracy, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And as part of that YouTube channel, you have been having telephone conversations with Philip Kemp, correct?
Yes, he
And
calls
you
me almost daily.
Okay. From jail, yes?
Yes.
And you post those conversations with Mr. Kemp on your YouTube channel, correct?
Some of them.
All right, so the ones you have posted are Mr. Kemp, correct? The ones that some of the calls you've had with him from jail, you are posting on YouTube, your conversations with Mr. Kemp,
Yes,
correct?
some of them have been broadcast from YouTube.
Yes, and so you have firsthand knowledge of Mr. Kemp's voice, don't you?
I do.
All right, so let's play one of these YouTube videos, and all I want you to do is I'm going to play a portion of it, been admitted into evidence, and you confirm that it's your voice and Mr. Kent's voice, please.
That's like, I don't know like you do, but your buddies do.
That's your voice,
You know
yes?
what I mean? And I don't wish to see that outside my door. And so that's, you know, but I mean, honestly, it's like, there's a point in time. I mean, you're right. We're doing everything lawful that we can do. We're doing the pen and the paper, but we still have a peaceful way of going about it in law that we haven't exhausted yet. It's just going to take everybody coming out and standing together. So please get that message out. I'm saying that in my videos, you know. So, but that's, you know, I mean, John F. Kennedy said, those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. You know, but we got to go every single peaceful route we can possibly go.
That's Mr. Kemp's voice, isn't it?
Yes, that was Mr. Tim's voice.
And that is but just a little excerpt of many videos that you've posted of conversations between yourself and Mr. Kemp on your YouTube channel, correct?
I don't know how many videos.
Many, though. Yes? Your channel speaks for itself.
I would say a few.
Okay.
And I posted a lot of videos. I think
Now,
got a couple hundred.
in this post, which we've already made an exhibit before your testimony in the courtroom today, and the transcript of it, you go on to talk about killing the judiciary, don't you? In this very post, Camping with Kemp and Other War Stories, correct?
What I talk about is the history of common law and how it developed from England.
May I have the exhibit, the transcript of this, Sarah?
Is this an official transcript? Where did the transcript come from?
Who made an exhibit of the tape?
Who dictated the transcript?
I don't know.
So,
Suzanne, who dictated that transcript?
No, sir, you don't get to ask your question.
Provide
So-
testimony.
Mr. Cross, in this particular video, you say, and you can see along with me, you know, and you've actually read this because you posted it last night on your channel.
No, sir.
You know, back in old England, freaking when they started implementing the administrative civil law too much, the people in the towns around London would start killing people, you know, start killing the judiciary. Because they were like, what are you doing to my property? Why? Why do you think you have this right? Because I don't think you have this right, you know? And that's basically how the common law developed out of England. So, and that goes to what you're saying is, you know, it's pretty easy to pick up a trigger, you know? It's pretty easy to pick up an axe. Those are your comments in your video, yes?
Outlined the Constitution to stop vexation
Yes.
of
I
attorneys.
mean,
such as
the,
me.
I want to hear from this gentleman. So go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry, could you put that back up, please?
Those are your comments. Or would you like me to play it on the video? Let's
Oh,
play it
put-
audio-wise.
I'll put he asked, let's put the comments back up.
This is why we have the Constitution, to
Sir.
stop women like
Sir.
this from
Sir.
vexatiously taking off
Mr. Kemp.
personal gain.
Mr. Kemp, my goal is to let you out of jail, but if you keep on doing this, I'm gonna find you in contempt of court again and sentence you to another 10 days. I don't wanna do that. So please stop addressing whoever you're addressing, okay? Okay, so go ahead.
All right, Mr. Cross, these are your comments on your channel, right? And actually, you posted a video last night about this very post. So I know you've seen it, and I know you've read it.
Let him review it, and then he can say anything you'd like to.
Those are your
Thank you.
comments, aren't they?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yes or no? That's your voice.
Well, see, it's really just not that simple because this
The
really
question
goes
is, that's
back
your
to
voice,
talking
isn't it?
about the actual history. You know, the actual history of how common law developed. I mean, it even says,
So when you said it's pretty easy to pick up a
He's trying to
trigger,
answer the question.
easy to pick up an axe, when are you advocating that Mr. Kemp or you or your followers are going to pick up a trigger or an axe?
I'm not advocating it at all. I'm not advocating any violence. What I'm saying is that it's been
One second. Is it, what's your last name?
Cross.
Okay. You need to be careful about how you answer this, because as I said, if you make threats to the judiciary, especially across state lines, then you'd be arrested for that. So I want to advise you to be very careful about how you answer this question, because what you say might be used against you in a prosecution. Does that make sense to you?
Could I do a trial by jury?
You would. You would. But you don't have, what I'm just telling you is, be careful about even answering this question. You have the right to the Fifth Amendment to protect yourself, because you don't want what you say in court used against you. So, I just advise you to be careful about what you say.
Would it be taken out of context if the jury get the entire context?
I have no idea. I'm just advising you to be careful. Doesn't do me any good. I'm just telling you, be careful how you answer this question. Because I don't want, in a subsequent trial, whether it be federal or state, if there was one, I don't want anything you say here to be used against you. Okay? So do you want to answer this, or do you want to plead the fifth on this?
What I'm saying is that emotionally, through human history, it is easier for humans to pick up an axe or a pitchfork than to go to a law library and sit down with their neighbor and try to actually work things out civilly.
So when are you going to advise Mr. Kemp or your followers or yourself that it's time to pick up the trigger and harm somebody in this case?
I'm not.
So how many more posts are you going to make calling for action and backpedaling, saying you're really preaching not to be violent?
I'm not calling for action. I'm calling for people to stand together in unison.
And the postings that you made coming here today, didn't you say repeatedly that if you could get a certain number of people that they could free Mr. Kemp and the judge would be intimidated, and if it didn't happen, y'all would have to be called to action, that this was the last civil chance?
I don't remember saying anything like that.
Your YouTube videos don't say any of that? That this is your last chance before y'all take physical violence against people?
What I said was it could be.
It could be. So that's my question. When does it change from could be to you actually call them to action to harm people on these types of threats?
Well, I wouldn't call anybody to action to harm anybody.
You have about 5,000 followers, don't you?
The entire reason why I do what I do is to try to work and resolve these things out peacefully.
You have about 5,000 followers on your YouTube channel that I can see that you broadcast, right?
I don't know.
Well, doesn't your YouTube channel tell you how many followers you have?
I'm sure it does, but I wasn't exactly expecting to get subpoenaed, and I didn't know what I was going to talk about.
So, and the graphics that you posted for one of your most recent postings, included a graphic, which, Your Honor, we've made an exhibit, saying to come to the courthouse today at 7:30. The graphic included giving donations for t-shirts, and there was a picture of Judge Ash in the corner with a black X over his face, wasn't it? That was the graphic posted on your YouTube channel, wasn't it?
That was the graphic.
Yes, and so you created the X over the
I
Judge
did
Ash.
not.
Well, who created it for you?
No, nobody created it for me. It was just something I got off the internet.
So you put an X over Judge Ash's face?
No, I didn't. I did not. I personally did not do that.
And then you chose to post it on your page regardless of who created it, right? You posted the X over Judge Ash's face on the graphic, right?
It's a freedom of expression.
And isn't a black X over somebody a sign of killing them? Or wiping them out?
I believe that the graphic said to remove from office. I didn't take anything from it to mean any type of harm.
Your Honor, we made that exhibit, if I may pull that out.
Once again, you need to be careful about how we answer this. I don't want to be used against you.
Your Honor, here is the exhibit. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Mr. Cross, where on this exhibit with the black X over Don Ash's face does it say that the X is to remove him from office? Where does it say that?
I mean, I can't see it real clear, but
Well,
I
you
believe,
posted it.
right?
There you
It
go.
says remove Don Ash. I understood
it
that
doesn't say
as
from
remove
office,
him
does
from
it?
office.
It doesn't say from office, does it? It says remove Don Ash, and you've put an X over his face. You deny that that's a symbol of killing somebody? Remove him from the face of the earth?
I deny that that was any intention.
It can be interpreted that way, can't it? Yes.
Anybody can interpret it.
You deny the intention, but it can be interpreted that way, can't it? Removed on Ash. And people start killing the judiciary. Is that just coincidence that that graphic and that conversation took place about Judge Ash?
She's already answered.
Is that just coincidence, Mr. Cross?
I'll let him answer if he wants to.
You talk about killing the judiciary and you post an X, removed on Ash. Is that just coincidental?
That's enough. I really don't want you to answer this because there may be some criminal charges involved in it. I don't want you giving, I don't want anything here to be used against you. So let's move on to another.
You've never met Miss Shepherd, have you?
I have never met Miss Shepherd.
I need to move this into evidence. I think it's already in evidence.
We'll make that the next number exhibit, please. Not sure what number that is.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your answer. You're agreeing you've never met Miss Shepherd.
Well, give her a second. Let the court report more.
Thank you.
Mark. What do you think? Okay, we'll take it back.
Yes, I think it's already in evidence. I'm just being careful. I'm sorry.
You may want to take that down. I understand what you say your intent was, but you might want to take that down. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. I'm not ordering, just suggesting. Okay. Next question.
I think you said you've never met Amanda, Miss Shepherd, correct?
I have not met her.
And you've never met the children, correct?
I have not met them. In fact, I've never really met Philip Kemp, just over the phone.
Until today. This is the first time you've met him in court, right? First time in person, was today in the
This is the
courtroom.
first time I've ever seen him in person.
Do you make money from YouTube?
No, I don't.
And so, given the fact that you've never met the children or Miss Shepherd, and you've only ever talked to Mr. Kemp from jail by phone, do you think that all these postings you've been made harassing her and broadcasting the children's lives and contributing to insulting the court system, me, are in the best interest of the minor children?
What I believe would be in the best interest of the minor children is kind of like Don was talking about earlier, is that they're able to work it out individually.
No,
I
sir.
personally have,
My question
have been
was-
through a divorce.
No, sir.
Let finish answering. Go ahead, sir.
I personally have been through a divorce, and I know firsthand the toll that it takes, and I am very accommodating to my ex on any time she wishes to come by and see my little man in training, which is also her little man in training too. It took a long time to try to cultivate a civil relationship with her again. When people get divorces, they're typically fed up, they're upset with each other. They don't know how to resolve and work things out. And that takes time and patience.
Mr. Cross, my question was, are your actions in broadcasting all of this around the world to strangers in the best interest of these minor children in this case? Are your actions in the best interest of the minor children?
I don't know how to answer that.
Is it in the children's best interest for you to do what you're doing?
Is it in the children's best interest to watch their father get arrested while he's taking them camping?
Answer my question. Are your actions in the best interest of the minor children in between these parents?
Yeah, I'm not really sure that's relevant.
Okay, let me, I do.
Okay.
Let's reframe it, Mr. Cross. When you broadcast Mr. Kemp calling Miss Shepherd a baby mama terrorist, and she's hateful, and she's awful, and all the other things, and you say this court has no authority, are you contributing yourself to the conflict between these parents?
by taking a side and broadcasting it across the world?
Is the court taking a side?
Are you contributing to the ongoing level of conflict by being
Is the
Mr.
court
Kemp's
contributing
proxy?
to the ongoing level of conflict?
Question is to you.
Yeah, you can answer the question, then, but you need to answer the question.
Are you, sir, contributing to the level of conflict between these parents by your broadcasting in this case?
Are you contributing
Yes or
to the
no?
level of conflict by?
Instruct him to answer.
Yeah, record show he doesn't want to answer that question. So next question.
I'd ask that you take the inference that the answer would have been he is contributing to the
Yes, sir, go
conflict.
ahead.
That's all I have, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Kemp, do you have any questions, Ms. Jones?
I don't consent to the administrative.
Okay, I do. So, I understand you and I've got different views about government, that type of stuff. I guess maybe you've got a suggestion. I've got to follow what the law is. That's my oath. And you may not agree, I've got the authority to do it. But I've got to do that. Unless the appellate court or the legislature tells me to do it. What would you suggest I do so this stops? So what these parties, because you probably didn't know, the reason I read all that in the record was, I want everybody to know the full picture of how long this conflict has been going on. And you said you were divorced, so your conflict did go on 7 years and all those stuff. Do you have any suggestion about what I can do to stop this? And because just say, Mr. Kemp, you go do whatever you want to do, it didn't work when they had 50-50 time. Is there anything I can possibly do to resolve this that you could suggest?
Well, I mean, having gone through the process personally, you know,
And I guess that was a state court?
it was.
Okay.
And so I understood a lot from the beginning. I understood what I was doing, going to court. Had full understanding of what was going on, and just my personal experience is, you know, a lot of the things, because I don't know this case. You know, I don't know the entirety of this case.
Here's the problem with that. You're involved in that. I mean, you're involved. You're taking opinions and sides, and you got every right to do that. I've been critical of that at all. But I thought some of this, and I said I had to watch all this stuff because it was exhibits. And I appreciate what you said about peacefulness. I agree with that. And I appreciate what you said about Romans 13. We may disagree about some things, but most of it, I think you're supposed to love your neighbor. I agree with that. But I guess what my trouble here is, I have laws that I'm bound to follow. Just like you say, you've got laws you're bound to follow. And so I'm applying the laws I am bound to follow in the parameters of this relationship that I've reviewed and looked at, probably a lot more than you have. And I need to get to a point where these people can move on with their lives and focus on the betterment of their children. Just like what you said is exactly right. When you respect the mother of your child, and you talked about how you two work together on that. Perfect. That was the whole reason I got involved in the parenting plan thing, because I wanted both parents to be involved, both mom and dad, in the raising their small children. But have you got any suggestion about what I can do under my laws, to resolve this continuing conflict? Because I'm afraid it's going to hurt the children if it hadn't already. And I don't want anybody's children hurt.
I understand. I don't wish to see any children hurt either. You know, we have two different views, and one of the reasons why I chose to stay in here and talk is because you extended a hand of peace. You know, almost like an olive branch.
Sure.
And so I'm not going to turn that away, because if we can't talk with each other and work things out, then you know, it's just going to be bad. People keep fighting, and that's what we got to get away from. I remember when my wife left, you know, I remember how relieved I was, because I didn't have to argue. anymore because we didn't live together. And I'm not saying that I was always perfect after that. Lord knows that I wasn't. But the things that I really wished to do, and this was in South Carolina, I don't know how the legislatures administrate here in Tennessee, but the things that I wished to do, they weren't an option when I was talking with my attorney about it, because I wish to have, multiple therapy sessions for both of us, have one for me, one for her, and then one together to try to work through this process.
I've done that. We've done that in cases. Right, both.
Well, and they would say...
It's called collaborative therapy.
Well, they would say that, that they could do so many hours, that they could assign so many hours, like 16. But with something like that, in my experience, it's not like you can just say, here's how many hours it will take. And the other thing was, it was a very complex and complicated situation. And so I think that those kind of take individual attention. So, I don't know what exactly you're bound by and what your options are. And again, I think for the most part, I am really glad that I could talk my ex into settling outside of court and not getting the court involved.
Well, that's what these people did, but it just continued to escalate like a volcano over the last seven years. And so you've not had that experience. Y'all work together.
Well, not always. She hated me for years. And didn't understand and said that I was doing horrible things to her. I'm sure that she ran around talking about me behind my back. I saw things that she posted up on Facebook. You live and you move on. I think it was a learning experience.
Sure.
And we all have to learn and grow.
All right. I appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you very much.
May I have one follow-up question?
Sure.
So, Mr. Cross, did I hear you to say that you took a parenting class?
No,
Or you went to counseling?
no.
You didn't say that. Okay, if I misheard it, I misheard it.
I just suggested you thought that would be a good alternative for
Thank you. I knew I heard, but I just didn't know what I heard. And Mr. Cross, in the YouTube videos you've been posting, you've been telling Mr. Kemp that the court has no authority to make him take a parenting class or an anger management class, haven't you? You've told him the court has no jurisdiction and can't make him do that, not to follow the court's orders, haven't you?
I don't believe I've told him that.
The record will reflect what it reflects.
Okay.
Well, I don't know exactly everything that I've said,
No problem.
but my intentions are good and come from the heart.
Sure, I understand. Okay, thanks, sir. Nice meeting you. Sit down.
I
You're free to stay in the courtroom. Yes.
I need to enter the log of the jailhouse calls that came with the.
With the video, with the tape.
With the.
Sure.